Hey, what's up everybody? Back here behind our house in our swampy food plot. It is June 2nd. We're gonna do a little bit of food plot maintenance. But I want to take you around really quick and kind of show you what our food plot looks like, and then I'll detail some of the things that we're gonna do here today. So stay with us. All right, here's our food plot. This is back, like I said, behind our house. Our property is really swampy. And it's really wet back here right now with all the rain that we've been getting the last month and a half or so, but the food plot looks overall really good. We like to divide our plot kind of in half. So over here, this is the older half of our plot, and this is the newer one. So each year I like to do like a clover mix with some rye, and then leave one half of the plot. So this year we'll probably leave this just as it is, and then this year we'll probably kill a lot of this and plant a new fall mix, and then we just kind of alternate each year. So we usually got always one half in clover and rye, and then another half in a fall annual mix. So last year we did this half in the fall annual mix, and it really didn't take off a whole lot in the fall, but right now it looks really good. So you can see there is some white clover. That's what we normally use from Tractor Supply. It's plot spike clover. The mix that we bought was from deerseeds.com. It was from just their fall mix, and it looks like there's some crimson clover, there's some chicory growing, and then you can obviously see all the rye getting pretty tall. Our older half of the plot, which is really wet right now, a lot of weeds, a lot of grass, a lot of I don't even know what this ground cover type of stuff is, but the clover over here is still pretty good. It's not bad. This is all plot spike clover. That's all this was last year. This is the half that we left just alone as clover last year. So we're definitely gonna mow this. I should say weed whack it. We can't get a mower back here. So that's one thing. We're gonna mow this, and we'll probably knock down a lot of the rye on this side. It's starting to go to seed head and get pretty tall. So we'll probably go ahead and weed whack some of this down. We'll start with that. All right, we're all done weed whacking. Looks pretty good. Like I said, the older section, that had a lot of weeds, a lot of grass, so I'm really hoping that clover takes off now that we mowed it. This side looks pretty good. Not too much other than the rye. We actually left a little bit of rye in a few pockets. We left some by that stump. We left some along our little homemade fence row there. We left a line of it right here where there really wasn't anything growing. It was really wet right here, just the rye was. So we left a few pockets of that just to add a little bit of structure, hopefully, to our food plot, and see, I guess, what it looks like as it gets really big and mature. I wanted to show you guys a couple things. So back here, I can't get any tractors, four-wheelers, anything. So everything that I do is all by hand. One thing that I actually like to do is leave some of these stumps, because you can see this one in particular has just a ton of stump sprouts, and the deer like browsing on this. This turns into a really cool big bush once it really starts growing. There's a couple other stumps that are like that. Just another thing to add some structure to your food plot. I just mentioned my homemade fence row. This is just some T-posts and some wood and wire snow fence. So the reason we did this is before, our food plot was just one big circle, and a lot of deer, especially bucks, like to just cruise the edge of that wood line just out of bow range, check the food plot, and then leave. So we added this, and there's a hinge cut tree right at the end, so it's difficult for them to just walk that line. It kind of forces them either direction to come into the food plot, walk around this fence, and then you can see there we got an elevated box blind right there. That's about 18 yards from the end of the fence. So we're trying to turn our food plot into more of a horseshoe shape as opposed to a big circle. A few things I did, I left a lot. I didn't weed whack all the way up along the edge because I want some of this to grow up. Like I said, I left a bunch of rye right here. I had stuck some brush in it last year to try to make it look a little more natural, and obviously all the leaves and stuff are dead on those, but I'm just gonna leave them. I also, you probably saw one of our dogwood videos. If you didn't, I'll put a link down below. We stuck a whole bunch of dogwood cuttings right along here. They're bigger than what people recommend to use for dogwood cuttings, but I had a bunch left over. I was kind of tired. I just stuck them in here, and I'd say probably 50% of them are growing. So we're really hoping to just turn this into, like I said, a fence row. Create a little bit of a barricade, creates a visual barrier as well as a barrier that deer have to walk around. And it definitely helped last year, and I think some of these minor tweaks to it will also help this year. All right, another thing, if you guys have really swampy ground like me, one thing that helps out is digging some water holes, or in this case, I dug a big water trench. These were in spots that were already low, and I dug this last year. I actually put that in our swamp food plot prep 1 video from last year. I'm probably, if I have time, gonna dig these out again because they are full, and they are actually, like, the water area is a lot bigger than I want them to be. But this helps out a ton, just localizing that water, giving you more land to plant your food plot seed in, and just draining some of those low spots a little bit. So it was a big help for us last year. We're going to continue to work on them. I mean, they're filling in a little bit. They're probably not nearly as deep as they were, but just get in them with boots and a shovel, dig out as much as you can, and just try to drain as much water as you can. Okay, the last thing we're going to do, we're going to try this. I haven't tried any sorghum back here before, but I've got just a little bit of a bag, small bag, and we're going to take a shovel, and we're just going to kind of score the ground in maybe like 1 or 2 lines. I'm just going to drop some sorghum seeds down through some of our sunnier edges, especially in front of our blind, probably over here, just to try to make a little bit more of a screen and a softer edge. That's one thing this food plot lacks. Hinge cutting around the edge has helped, but as you can see, we really don't have a soft edge around this food plot. We transition pretty much from tall, mature timber straight to food plot. So that's one thing that I need to work on over the next couple of years, is creating a nice soft edge, and hopefully that'll make a few more deer feel comfortable using this food plot during daylight. But for today, we're going to try some sorghum. We'll see if it grows back here in this wet soil, and we'll see what happens. Hey, thanks for tuning into this food plot maintenance and update video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button down below, and also please subscribe to our channel. We got a lot more habitat improvement work coming up here. I'm going to show you guys some updates in a couple weeks on our willows and our other red osier dogwood cutting plantings, as well as some of our other habitat improvements like our hinge cut trail, our bedding area, all that stuff. So be sure to subscribe, stay tuned, have a wonderful summer, and thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you soon.